On this day in 1982, two hidden bombs tore through two of London's most peaceful royal parks in a single morning, and when the smoke cleared, 11 British soldiers and 7 cavalry horses were dead. It was a coordinated strike at the ceremonial heart of the British state, carried out not on a battlefield but among summer crowds in central London. On the 20th of July 1982, members of the Provisional Irish Republican Army detonated 2 improvised explosive devices during British military ceremonies. The first went off in Hyde Park, the largest of London's royal parks, a 350-acre expanse in Westminster. The second struck in Regent's Park, 410 acres of parkland in northwest inner London, home to the London Zoo. Both attacks targeted soldiers taking part in public ceremonial duties. The toll was 11 British Army personnel killed, along with 7 horses. These were not frontline troops in a war zone. They were ceremonial units, and the parks around them were open, historic public spaces where Londoners walked every day. That was precisely the point. The bombings carried the conflict of Northern Ireland into the streets of the capital, in full view of the public. To understand why, you have to understand who set the bombs. The Provisional Irish Republican Army, known informally as the Provos, was an Irish Republican paramilitary force. Its goal was to end British rule in Northern Ireland, to bring about Irish reunification, and to establish an independent socialist republic covering the whole island of Ireland. It saw itself as the true army of an all-island Irish republic that it insisted still existed, the sole legitimate successor to the original IRA of the Irish War of Independence. The group emerged in December 1969 out of a split within the earlier IRA and the wider Irish Republican movement. At first it was the minority faction, smaller than the official IRA, but by 1972 it had become the dominant force, and it went on to be the most active Republican paramilitary group of the entire conflict known as the Troubles. Its authority was recognized by no one in power. The Provisional IRA was designated a terrorist organization in the United Kingdom and an unlawful organization in the Republic of Ireland, and it rejected the legitimacy of both governments in turn. The Hyde Park and Regent's Park bombings became one of the starkest symbols of how far the Troubles had spread beyond Northern Ireland. They showed that a conflict rooted in a divided province could reach the ceremonial parks of London itself, and they would echo through decades of violence still to come before any lasting peace was reached. That's it for this one. Watch this next. Why Al-Shabaab bombed a World Cup crowd in Uganda.